actually, I'm going to get started with a story here um, to get going. So while we have more people coming in, since we put together this topic on being overweight in America, it reminded me of a patient I used to treat. Her name was Carla. And many of you know I'm a physical therapist. I used to do a lot of home health physical therapists where I go into people's homes and that weren't strong or well enough to go outside. And I treated at one point this woman named Carla. And she had just got home from the hospital because she had fractured her tibia. It shattered. So Carla was overweight. She was probably 5'5" and 250 pounds. So she was overweight to the point where her bones were so weak that her entire tibia shattered. So when she saw me, she got home from the hospital, could not put any weight on her tibia, which was a challenging situation because she was still overweight and couldn't move. So we had to do a lot of these things around nutrition and basic principles to get her biology, her bones strong again, give her the vitamins and minerals that she needed, and started losing weight naturally. And then she was able to start walking again and ended up losing over 100 pounds in 1 year because she just kept going and kept going. So I say that story because I think Martha said, is it possible at 70 years old to lose 10 pounds? Heck yeah, it's possible. And start thinking things are possible. Let's start thinking that way. That's the way a hero thinks. We're always talking about the hero's journey here at Native Path. So think about yourself as the hero. See yourself moving and eating well and doing all these things. That's where it really has to start. And Carla was so good about that. Like a lot of what we did is just implementing new habits and changing the way she thought about herself and her life and imprinting new things. So we're going to talk about what she did. That's the main principles we're going to talk about today, and also what you can do, because you can do it. You can achieve these goals. And that's really what we're doing here. We're getting people on the path to feel better, to have more energy, to get out of pain. So let's do that. Does that sound good? And Jeannie says 15 pounds. Okay, perfect. All right, everybody, let's go ahead and get started. Dr. Chad here. Thank you again for joining our webinar. And here, let's go. So overweight in America, better ways to boost your metabolism in 2023. And before we get started here, a little housekeeping items. So to ask me a question, all you need to do is simply use the Q&A feature located at the bottom of your Zoom window. And you may also hit escape to exit out of full screen mode. I'll answer as many questions as I can during the presentation. Oftentimes I'll take little breaks and pauses and kind of see what questions we still have outstanding. But Coach Krista is also on here. Coach Rachel's actually in France right now. She's probably not answering these questions, but Coach Krista is going to help answer as many questions as we can as we go. Also know that this webinar is for educational purposes only, so it's not intended to give any medical advice or treat anything. And the purpose of this webinar is to educate, promote understanding of knowledge of whole body wellness topics. Feel free to share this information with your friends. We ask that you do not duplicate or distribute this information for any sort of personal gain without written permission from Native Path. So we'll be emailing you after this with a link to this webinar, and you can forward that on to your friends and family. Okay, here's our agenda today. Number one, we're going to talk about heavy news and statistics regarding the weight of America. It's really surprising what's happened in the past 100 years there. And I think a very important thing to look at first about how severe this is. Number two, easy ways to boost your metabolism starting now, as in today, getting things in practice, waking up tomorrow and putting some things into practice. So we're going to talk about those. And then the importance, number three, keep it consistent, keep it off, get it off, keep it off. We say, get on the path, stay on the path. We have to get out of this quick fix mindset that we've been conditioned about. These quick rewards get us in trouble. We have to think consistency with some things that are aligned with our values and our goals of what we want for our health. And number four, the live Q&A with me. So again, I'll answer questions as we go, but we'll have one big section at the end where I'll go into more details with your specific questions. So that's a good time. You can also save questions for that. And let's start with some stats. I like starting out with stats because the data does not lie. So the state of weight in America. And let's look at being overweight versus being obese.
Hey, Chad, real quick. Sorry, we're having some technical difficulties. We can't see your slides. It says it's loading and it's a black screen.
Oh, no. Okay. Thank you for letting me know. Let me stop it And then maybe I'll come back and just, if you can just stay with me and let me know if you see it now.
Yep. Oh, okay. Now put it into slideshow mode. Let's see.
But I can't see it. Okay, so you can see it now, right?
Yes.
Okay, so everybody's good. Let's go ahead and look in the chat now. Everybody can see that now?
No, it's saying loading when you're going into slideshow mode.
Okay.
1 second.
Apologies, everybody. Screen share is being paused. Okay. We'll get it figured out. Technical difficulties. And if not, I guess I can just share it from that webinar PowerPoint slide.
Thanks everybody for hanging with us on this. I tried it on mine and it does say loading for a second, but then it comes up. So it might just be.
Yeah, I exited out of it. So I'm gonna come back in to Google and see if we can go back into that webinar slide and see what we can do. We'll figure out one way or another here. Okay, let's try it again here. Okay, so you see that, right?
Yes.
Okay, and so I'm gonna go to slideshow and we'll see if it happens again. If not, I'll just stay on these slides and go one by one. See that?
No.
Oh gosh. Okay, well, we'll just go back to doing it the other way. So apologies, everybody. We'll do it the old-fashioned way here. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm not sure what's going on, but here we go. So, all right, everybody sees that? Krista, see that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, so what I'll do for the slides is just go right here. That sound good? That's probably the best I can do, and I'm sorry. We'll figure this out, but we'll go with this today. So again, we're coming back to the state of weight in America, and we're going to start with being the definition of being overweight versus being obese. What is that? So overweight versus being obese. So overweight and obesity are defined as abnormal or excessive body fat accumulation that may impair health. And body mass index, this is also known as BMI, is a simple index of weight for height that is commonly used to classify overweight and obesity in adults. And it's defined as a person's weight in kilograms divided by the square of his or her height in meters. So kilograms over meters squared. And here's where you get into like the classifications. For adults, WHO defines overweight as obese, the WHO defines overweight and obesity as the follows. So overweight is a BMI greater than or equal to 25, and obesity is a BMI greater than or equal to 30. So those are things to really understand. It helps you gauge, where you're at with your health, and kind of gives you some directions of how severe it is with you. So an obesity timeline. This is really important to know and see when you look through history. So in 1962, 3.4% of all adults were reported to be obese. Only 3.4%. In 2016, that number was 39.8% of adults that are reported obese, and it's gotten worse since the pandemic. In 2020, 41.9% of adults are reported to be obese. This is so important. I want to stay here for a second because so many times people that are dealing with weight loss issues get suggested to them that it runs in their family. And you'll hear people say being overweight and obese, it just runs in my family. But that's really only true for like the most recent generations. If we go back 3 generations, 4 generations, 6 generations, obesity does not run in our families. What's changed in our families is the environment that our families are living in terms of the way we're eating, the way we're moving, and the way we're living our lives in our modern culture. It's moving further and further away from the way we've been living for thousands, tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of years, right? We're moving further and further away from nature and creating disharmony in the body. So that's happening in a rapid pace in the past 50 years. And today, over 68% of the American adults are obese or overweight. So think about that drastic jump that we've seen just in the past 50, 60 years. Over 68% of Americans are now obese or overweight. And obesity is costing us a lot of money. We have a lot of conversations about healthcare and insurance, but it's become such a big liability. So in 2016, chronic diseases driven by the risk factor of obesity and overweight accounted for $480.7 billion in direct healthcare cost in the United States. $480.7 billion. In 2019, medical costs for adults who had obesity were $1,861 higher than medical costs for people with healthy weight. And obesity as a risk factor is by far the greatest contributor to the burden of chronic diseases in the US, accounting for 47.1% of the total cost of chronic diseases nationwide. So all this to say that it is a huge issue and it seems to be getting worse. It's also an issue that's now affecting our children. We now have the first generation of children whose lifespans is expected to be shorter than their parents because of the way we're living. So I look at what's going on with obesity as really central. If we figure this problem out, we start to figure a whole lot of problems out. So we have to know what's actually causing the issues here. So also know that it leads to cardiovascular diseases, mainly heart disease and stroke, which were the leading causes of death in 2012. It can also lead to musculoskeletal disorders. I saw this a lot. I mentioned Carla, but a lot of patients who ended up having problems with their knees, their bones, their tendons, their ligaments, they start to have mobility issues, getting around, the inability to get up from a chair or use the restroom. So needing assistance in a lot of ways. So it can, disability, degenerative joint disease, all kinds of issues there. And obesity can lead to cancers, including endometrial, breast, ovarian, prostate, liver, gallbladder, kidney, and colon. Again, we look at a lot of these things as lots of different things, but underneath, obesity is such a driver in a lot of things. We have to figure this out. Part of the problem, here's 6 of the main causes of obesity that we're going to get into today. Number 1, engineered and processed junk foods, right? In our culture, we have food scientists whose sole job is to just get you addicted to food. And to do that, they put an incredible amount of sugar, toxic fats in there that are incredibly addicting to the body, and you can't stop eating them. And it's very cheap. It's very bad for the earth, and it's quite available everywhere. These are things you see on TV that we're told to eat. And then we get into unhealthy eating patterns. We're just in a hurry these days. We don't chew our food very well, often eat in the car. We call it fast food. That's not how the body is designed to eat. The body likes to be in a calm, relaxed state. Our environment's changing. Our sleep is another contributing factor. And people in our culture have our condition of the mindset of go, go, go. Sleep is for the weak. And we have these really bright screens now with our TV and our iPads keeping us up. It's messing up our circadian rhythm. Our sleep is so important to balancing our hormones, to recovering, to repairing, but we're not doing that. And it's leading to another issue that's causing the obesity. And I mentioned the sugar, but sugar has a big problem because it raises your blood sugar. It causes your body to start producing a lot of insulin. Your pancreas starts to burn out. It can lead to diabetes where someone needs to inject themselves with insulin a lot. But that too much production of insulin coming from too much sugar can lead to all kinds of diseases, right? And one is obesity. And number 5, misinformation. There's a ton of horrible information on what to do when you are dealing with a weight issue like obesity or being overweight. And people will try these quick fixes, take a pill or just try this one silly exercise and everything is going to be good, and just promises. And people will try things that's quick fix for one time and not really make the long-term habits. We have to start thinking about lifestyle. We have to think about consistency. That's how we're going to get better. And number 6, lack of motivation, trying to do it alone, no community and no physical activity, just sitting there. We have to be in action, which is again why I told you that story about Carla at the beginning. It's so important that we get on the path. We do one thing, then the other, and then the other. We ask for help, we find the support we need, and we keep moving forward. You have to think about the long-term vision rather than the quick fix. Very important. So when it comes down to it, the fundamental cause of excessive fat accumulation is eating too much unhealthy food and moving too little, plain and simple. And those things are abundant in our culture. We're just eating terrible food and not moving enough, and it's leading to a lot of issues. And part of the problem is the 3 metabolic myths that you've probably heard of, right? So myth that you've probably not heard of, right? Myth number 1, you have control over your metabolism. Right, that's one, that you have no control over your metabolism. You absolutely have control over your metabolism. There are plenty of ways you can naturally increase your metabolic rate through the foods that you eat, through how you move and how you sleep. You can absolutely do that. Myth number 2, metabolisms don't change with age. I think it was Martha earlier again, 70. Can I actually lose weight when I'm 70? Can I lose 10 pounds? Absolutely, because your metabolism, just because it slows as you age, doesn't mean you can't change some things. You can absolutely can't change some things. Number 3, a slow metabolism runs in your family. The truth is, while some people may be born with a slower or quicker metabolic rate, it is the lifestyle we lead that can impact metabolic function. Again, obesity doesn't run in your family. It's just the generation. It's the environment that the family's all been exposed to. So let's get into 5 simple ways to start boosting your metabolism now and get on the path. So number 1 way to boost your metabolism is don't sit. Just get up and stand more often and get up and move. So sitting has been called the new smoking, and recent studies suggest that sitting for more than 8 hours a day raises the risk of a whole host of health problems, and it can definitely slow your metabolism. Right. So one thing I suggest you also do is throughout the day is every 45 minutes, set a timer and just go outside for a 2 to 3 minute walk. That right there is more in line with how humans are meant to walk and how to move. So rather than think of, I'm going to take 30 minutes out of my day or 20 minutes out of my day and bundle it into an exercise session, and the rest of the day I'm not going to move more frequently throughout the day. Right? Between TV shows or whatever, between when you're working, every 45 minutes, set a timer, get up and move. And that's a great way to boost your metabolism. Metabolism tip number 2 is wake up and see the sunrise. So researchers have found a connection between early morning light exposure, regulating one's metabolism. And it turns out that early morning light triggers certain genes, which are linked to the internal body clock and kickstart the metabolism. So I talk a lot about hormones and how there's a circadian rhythm, and you have your daytime hormone, your stress hormone, which is cortisol, and at the beginning of the day that's supposed to be high, and it tapers off throughout the day, and it gets at its lowest point, starts to get lower at sunset. And around that time is when melatonin, your nighttime hormone, it's supposed to start to go up, and it gets at its highest around 1 to 2 a.m. in the morning, and then starts to taper off around sunset. So these 2 hormones work inversely. But most people's bodies are incredibly confused by this artificial light from our laptops and our iPads and our iPhones and our TVs, right? And it confuses the body to think that the sun is still up. So that circadian rhythm is getting really messed up in our body, and it's causing these sleep issues, which lead to more issues around obesity. So one of the things you can best do to set that circadian rhythm, see the sunrise first thing in the morning. Go outside if you can, but even if you have to just look out the window, when you look outside and your body and your eyes see that light, it perceives it, and internally your physiology is changing, and that circadian rhythm is being set. Cortisol is being produced when it's supposed to be produced, and it helps regulate things for the rest of your day. So see morning sunrise, one of the best things we can do to stay on the path. Number 3, make your first meal of the day a protein-rich meal. Focus on protein first. This is a great way to boost your metabolism. So protein helps repair and builds your body's tissues. It allows metabolic reactions to take place and coordinates bodily functions. And high protein intake has been shown to significantly boost metabolism and increase the number of calories you burn. So the few other things around protein, it's important to know that protein is a very metabolically costly nutrient. So your body, because it's so dense in vitamins and minerals, it actually burns calories just eating protein. Think about that. Like with sugar, carbohydrates, you're actually consuming calories and your body's storing it. But with protein, your body's doing the opposite. It's literally burning calories as you eat it. And it's also very satiating, right? You eat a piece of ground meat or chicken or steak, and the first one is good, and your brain, that sends a signal to your brain that this is actually nourishing. I don't need to keep eating more. It'll tell you very quickly when you're getting full. So it's really hard to overeat protein as opposed to sugar and carbohydrates, which is very easy to overeat because your body's like, yay, sugar, right? It has a completely different reaction. The other benefit of protein is that it helps balance your blood sugar. So many of us are so dependent on sugar. You hear about sugar cravings and what do I do to get off sugar addiction? The way you get off sugar addiction is through protein and good quality fat. So rather than sugar spiking your blood sugar when you consume it real high, and then there's a dip, you get that crash after you eat sugar in the morning. Orange juice, bananas, cereals, those things are rich in carbohydrates. You do that, big high, big crash, big high, big crash around 10 a.m. And we become sugar burners. That's how we get our energy, and we get really tired if we don't have enough sugar. With protein, you don't get that big blood sugar hike and big dip. It's just steady. It's nice and steady. It's more even. So you'll notice a change in your energy. But it's one of the most effective things you can do to lose weight is start with protein first in the morning. Again, what can that look like? It can look like eggs. It can look like chicken. It can look like beef. It can look like last night's dinner. Breakfast does not have to look like breakfast. It can look like last night's dinner. Breakfast food came from the food industry, right? Cereal's a very new thing. Orange juice is something that's super high in fructose. That's going to spike your blood sugar in such a big way and lead to those problems. Drink water, drink coffee, drink tea. But remember, protein first thing in the morning. Number 4, I talked about this earlier, but I'm going to reiterate it again. Get a good night's sleep, right? Do all the things. Getting a good night's sleep and keep the room cool around 66 degrees, 65 degrees is ideal if you can, but know that sleep deprivation can alter the glucose metabolism and hormones involved in regulating metabolism. There was a 2014 study that found that those who slept in rooms cooled to 66 degrees for a month increased their levels of calorie burning, brown fat, by 42% and their ability to metabolize fat by 10%, right? Again, sleep is incredibly important for your hormones, for the repair of your body, and as we listed here, balancing glucose metabolism, so your blood sugar. So remember, keep a consistent schedule. It's ideal to have the same wake times and sleep times rather than you sleep on these times during the week and then on the weekend it's like all over the place. Try to be consistent. Make your room pitch black. Going back to light, your body can see the alarm clocks. Your body can see the light from the outside, from the street lights. Try to black it all out if you can. Reduce the noise. Limit the caffeine intake. A simple rule, just have 1 cup of coffee, but never after 12, right? The caffeine is going to really mess up that circadian rhythm. And also not listed here is try to give around 3 hours between the time you go to bed and your last meal. So give your body time to digest the food. Know that when you eat, that heats up the body. Your body doesn't like to be in that heated state. It likes to be in a cool state. So give enough time between when you eat. And that's really going to help you sleep better and therefore help you lose weight in a much more effective and safe way. Tip number 5, tell a joke, right? So laughter is said to reduce the levels of stress hormone known as cortisol. I talked about that earlier, that lowers the metabolism rate and stores fat in the midsection. During a research study, they found that 15 minutes of laughter burns between 10 and 40 calories a day. So you heard that Joker joke. Why so serious? And really just taking life lightly, I think in general, is a really important thing and very helpful in the process of being on a journey and moving forward. Go through it with some humor and do it in your own way. So metabolism boosting tip, next one is drink your coffee and green tea. Green tea and coffee have the caffeine, right? But we want to be very careful with just one a day, but caffeine is a central nervous system stimulant, and your daily java can really rev up your metabolism anywhere from 3 to 11%, according to research in the American Journal of Nutrition and the Annals of Nutrition and Metabolism. This helps you burn an extra 98 to 178 calories a day. So other tips on caffeine is the timing around it. What's going to be best is if you don't have it first thing when you wake up, right? And the reason why it's not a good idea to have it first thing when you wake up is because you want that natural cortisol production to spike as much as you can on its own. So I'd suggest giving around 90 minutes before when you wake up to when you have that first cup of coffee or caffeine. And then also make sure it's, if you can, make sure it's after your morning walk, right? Where you've seen the light and been exposed to the natural sun. So that's my suggestion, is to really help you get the most out of the caffeine and have it work in alignment with your hormones. Go for the morning walk first, come back, then have your cup of coffee, and you will notice a radical change in how you feel, in your energy, right? Really good way to balance things out there. So let's get into 3 essential nutrients to help keep your weight loss accelerated and consistent, getting on the path and staying on the path, and getting into what we have here at Native Path, our products that can help you really dial in this lifestyle so it's consistent and long-term. So let's get into 3 ways to enhance your weight loss efforts and keep off the pounds you lose. And we'll talk about MCT oil powder, that's the fat, collagen proteins, that's the protein, the peptides, and then we'll get into probiotics and gut health. So number 1, fats. Right, so healthy fats from foods we eat are essential to trillions of cells for optimal function of just about every bodily process, including the hormones that power our metabolism. And today there are many studies that prove how MCT support weight loss, boost metabolic health, and can help you lose weight around your hips and waist, as well as the more dangerous fats around your organs, the visceral fats, compared to those consuming other fats. So coconut-derived MCTs are also proven to accelerate fat loss and reduce waist circumference, target belly fat. They help with appetite control, and they help regulate blood sugar and prevent weight gain. Starting your day with good healthy fats and MCTs are one of the best ways to do that. So that's why I consider our MCT oil powder, if you haven't tried it, it's amazing. You can just put it in your coffee or your tea, and it has just this nice little creamy kind of texture that it gives it. But it's just mixing 1 scoop of coconut-derived MCT oil powder into your smoothie, your coffee, a cup of tea in the morning. We use only the purest, most bioavailable form of medium-chain triglycerides derived from MCTs, and carefully dehydrated these oils-based fats into a lightweight powder. Evidence suggests that using MCT powder form instead of the conventional liquid form is superior choice for a few reasons. So unlike liquid oil MCT products, using a high-quality powder format allows easier digestion and less gut distress, and this allows the body and brain to utilize the MCTs more efficiently. So I don't know if you ever tried liquid MCT. When I try it, it just goes in and out of my body really quickly. I have to go to the bathroom almost every time, so I don't get the benefit of the MCT. The body doesn't process and absorb it very well. The powder really slows down that digestive process, and it allows you to get the benefits of what the MCT can offer in terms of your energy, your cognition, and it's in a way that it doesn't upset your digestion. Amazing in your coffee and your tea. And again, it's that fat that helps you stabilize your blood sugar. Number 2, I talked about starting your day with protein. So in addition to healthy fats, protein is key for boosting your metabolism and other fat burning processes throughout your body. Today, there are many studies that prove how incorporating more protein into your diet can influence weight loss in a variety of ways. It can increase satiety, the feeling of fullness that I talked about. It can influence thermogenesis, metabolic energy. It can improve muscle mass, so important as we age that we don't have atrophy in our muscles. It reduces fat accumulation, and it relieves joint pain, right? And what we're going here with the first 2 things, protein and fat, is a shift from what we start in the morning. We want to get away from carbohydrates and refined sugars. That's the bread, that's the jelly, that's the orange juices and the cereals. We got to move away from that breakfast, and we have to switch it with the first thing, protein and fat, right? Easy, simple way to do that is in your morning cup of coffee or tea after your morning walk. We're talking about getting on the path. You're feeling better already. So, which is why grass-fed collagen, and again, you can just mix 1 or 2 scoops of grass-fed collagen into your smoothie, your cup of coffee, your tea in the morning. And this helps you ensure that you get the maximum benefits, right? So we use 100% grass-fed formula. We took the 2 most bioavailable forms of collagen, that's type 1 and type 3, and carefully hydrolyzed them into smaller peptides during the manufacturing process. And this extra step, it's meticulous and it is expensive, but it helps to enhance the absorption and effectiveness of our formula beyond any other collagen product available on the market today. Our collagen is completely free from the top 10 allergens, including gluten, soy, dairy, nuts, and contains absolutely no sugars, artificial flavors, colors, or thickeners, right? So we're always getting at Native Path the purest, cleanest, highest quality, most absorbable, bioavailable product we can. And then number 3 way that we have to offer here for boosting your metabolism is helping you create a healthy gut bacteria. You do this right here, this stomach is where you absorb all the vitamins and minerals from your food. It's where you release all the toxins and things that your body, it's not good for your body, right? That process has to be working in harmony for you to lose weight. And one of the best ways to do that is to keep a healthy microbiome with good gut bacteria. So taking a probiotic can help you with that. So people with excess fat around their middle and organs tend to have less diverse gut bacteria than leaner people. What's more is those who are overweight and have less diverse gut bacteria tend to continue to gain more weight than those who are taking steps to boost the variety of their gut bacteria. It needs variety. So more and more research is proving the necessity of balancing your gut bacteria with supplemental probiotics to improve digestive health and accelerate weight loss. And this helps to boost and maintain weight loss. It helps to reduce body weight and waist circumference. We don't want to just think in pounds. We want to also think about how our clothes fit, right? We want to maintain muscle. It also helps decrease fat storage. It also helps to improve the health of your gut lining and reduce inflammation. So that's why Native Path Probiotic Digestive Blend is our metabolic accelerator number 3. And what I suggest for this is you just take 1 capsule of probiotics with breakfast, right around there. So supplementing with a premium probiotic like Native Path microencapsulated formula, which contains 10 targeted probiotic strains, including lactobacillus and bifidobacterium. It gives the gut biome everything it needs for long-lasting metabolic, digestive, and immune support. And Native Path Probiotic is also infused with natural sources of prebiotics from psyllium husk and large fiber to further support waste removal and regularity. And the additional blend of prebiotics also provides nourishment to friendly bacteria levels, which helps the body maintain proper activity in 3 types of immune cells and encouraging the production of T cell and B cell immune factors. So with the additional 82 billion immune-specific CFUs, those are culture forming units, this powerful daily immune product can help you get to feeling your best no matter what life throws at you. It's one of the best things you can do to take care of your immune system, your health, keep your gut healthy, where it's doing all the right things to help you on your weight loss goals. So for today, for everybody watching, and I think we got a lot of people watching. So thank you everybody for hanging around. We're going to do an exclusive webinar offer. This is called our Healthy Trim Down Starter Set, where you can get up to 52% off plus shipping. That includes the MCT powder, the collagen peptides bag, the one that has 56 servings, which is really nice. And then the probiotic, and will include free delivery on all these. So this is an exclusive webinar offer only, and it's going to be good for 72 hours, I believe. And Krista's probably putting a link in there right now, but we're going to offer our biggest all-time discount on this web exclusive offer, where you can get 52% off. And plus, as I mentioned, your starter set comes with free shipping. So normally the retail price of these 3 supplements together would be over $171. But right now you're getting the power of these 3 natural metabolism boosters at our lowest ever price, where you can get up to $89.99 off select sets. So one value size bag of collagen retails for $67.99. And today you'll just pay you can pay just $35. Our MCT oil generally costs $57, but when you claim your bundle savings, you'll only pay $27. And our premium probiotic digestive health blend is $47 on our website, but you won't pay anywhere near that, costing you as low as $20 with your starter set. So you can see Chris is going to go ahead and put a link in the chat here where you can click on it and go to the page where you can take advantage of this. And then we'll also email it to you as well. And you can email that same link to your friends. But you have the option to get one set, you can get two sets, or you can get the most popular, which is 3 sets. You'll get 3 bags of collagen, 3 MCTs, and 3 probiotics. And this helps you really, I mean, that's going to get you going for 3 months, right? You'll have a good, consistent effort to really see what all these products can do for you. And just think like, we got New Year's coming up. There's that goal of what you talked about earlier, what you want your body to look like at February. Imagine what you want it to look like in March or in April, and that's the way we want you to think about this is move away from the quick fix. Think the long-term game here. All those principles that we talked about around sleep, starting with protein, starting with fat, doing those things consistently, staying on the path, 3 sets can help you with that. And also know that at Native Path, we're super big on purity. So we believe in the quality of our products, which is why we offer a risk-free 60-day feel the difference return policy. And what that means is you have 60 days to try out all the products. And if for any reason you're not loving how you feel as you jump out of bed each morning, your energy is supercharged, brain fog is like going away, you feel more motivated to move, and your whole body finds more balance. If for any reason you're not completely satisfied, all you need to do is reach out to our friendly customer care center for assistance, and you can feel rest assured, and you can order with confidence in knowing that your purchase is backed by our ironclad 60-day money-back feel the difference guarantee. But again, I think Chris has mentioned it. This offer is only good for 72 hours. So again, the exclusive webinar link is in the chat. Krista or Rachel, I think Rachel did make an appearance, so they're going to have that chat ready for you. And we will also email you this entire recording, and it will also include the link later if you need some more time. So everyone, thank you for watching so much. And I think now is a good time we can go to questions here, and I'll stop sharing my screen. But again, thank you everybody for your patience in the video and the having to do it from a different angle today. Apologize for all the technical difficulties in the beginning. So I'm going to go to some questions here. And Carla says, I have chia pudding and grapefruit. Is that suitable? You know what, Carla, if you have some weight to lose, I would switch that out for at least 30 days and see if you can change that. I would remove the grapefruit and the apple and move towards protein and like maybe some berries. I think that would be more appropriate for you. So like eggs and berries, or eggs, even eggs and a handful of nuts, that would be better. But starting could be meat, could be chicken, could be steak. But what I'm getting at is an animal-based protein, a good quality fat. Doing that with coffee, with the collagen and the MCT, that's going to set you up for a win. And Kimiko says, what if your thyroid has been moved? Does that hinder weight loss? Yeah, anytime you have a thyroid or any organ removed, it can hinder weight loss. Maybe it can make things a little different, but the principles of what you need to do still apply, Kim. Like everything we're talking about here, waking up in the morning, getting sun exposure, starting with protein, starting with fat, that's all going to help you in a major way. And probably one of the reasons why we started to get thyroids in the beginning is because of some of those old habits like sugar, toxic fats, maybe sleep is not there, maybe protein and fat at the beginning of the day is not there. No matter where you are, please, I hope everyone remembers, no matter where you are, it's important that you start getting these good habits into your life and then take the next one and then take the next one and stay consistent. So don't worry if something has been removed or you've been in a rough spot. You're only going to get better if you can lose that unhealthy weight. Linda says, I have a kidney transplant. Would you suggest using this? Yes, you can still use all our products. Collagen, MCT, probiotics will all be fine for you if you had a kidney transplant. So definitely going to help you. Martha says, I've been using the MCT powder and collagen in my daily coffee for a couple months. Weight gain has stopped, but not noticing much weight on the scale. Weight loss on the scale. However, my belly seems to be flattening. Is that possible without weight loss, or is it just wishful thinking on my part? So Martha, I love that you noticed that. And that's why I'm such a big believer when you're going on this journey that most people go on to try to lose weight and get healthy. Don't think about the weight. Don't think about the pounds on the scale. Think about how you feel. And and more importantly, doing what you're noticing here is the changes in your body. And where I suggest you pay the most attention is how your clothes are fitting. So very often we'll see people maybe stay the same weight, but all of a sudden their pants are like super huge on them and like falling off. And that comes back to that thing I was talking about, like you need muscle. Remember, muscle weighs more than fat. What we're going for is a change in body composition. And that's where, like, if you're going to do a true like fat assessment on you, getting a body weight scan, doing calipers and measuring it that way is the best thing. But you may not see changes in pounds as much as you see changes in how your clothes fit. So when you're going on this journey, again, go for how your clothes are fitting, go for your energy, your cognition. That's more important. The weight will do what it needs to do because your body's working things out. Taffy says, are these products kosher? What is the protein base? I do believe all these products are kosher. I will have to verify on that. Why don't you, Taffy, go ahead and email our customer experience team, unless Krista, if you know that question, but I believe they are all kosher. But if you can email that question to our customer experience team, they can verify for you. And Blanca says, will you offer your flavored collagen? I recently received 6 jars of your plain and saw great flavors after. Yes, so we have wonderful flavored collagen. We have wild berry and we have peach. Maybe Krista, if anybody can get with Rosario here, or not Rosario, Blanca, and see if we can get her a link to those, that would be great. Rosario says, I can do the matcha. I do the matcha instead of the MCT and still get the benefits. Yes, so the matcha has 7.5 grams of MCT. If anybody hasn't tried the matcha, it's so good. Rosario, I would love to know how you like it, but that's another way to get an MCT. And someone says, I have the opposite problem. I need to gain some weight. Could I still take MCT oil? I am currently taking the collagen powder. This is a really good question, because we're getting into some situations where people's body is out of harmony, right? And some people can be underweight, some people can be overweight, right? So what we're trying to do is find the balance, and what MCT and collagen, both of them are going to do is help you do that. So if you're someone who is underweight and you need more of the muscle to get stronger, right, and gain weight in a healthy way, that's where you want to get MCT and collagen, in the same way that MCT and collagen are going to help you lose unwanted body fat, right? So we want better body compositions. Both of them are going to do for that. And Blanca says, I've been doing so many of the right things. Going to the gym after this webinar, do not eat garbage or fried foods, and keep gaining weight instead of losing. My medical blood works are good, but can't understand why my weight is not going down. Smoothies in the morning with collagen and chia seeds. So yeah, we're getting kind of limited information here, but first of all, Blanca, thanks for sharing this. And I love that you're going to the gym and not eating garbage or fried foods. And what I would suggest is looking at that thing that we're doing in the morning. And I'm hearing smoothies in the morning with collagen and chia seeds. What you may want to do is bump the smoothie, or I may even take out the smoothie, because it might have some too much fruit for you, and not enough fat, right? So I would suggest doing the collagen and MCT, but instead of the smoothie for your first meal, try to have real food. Try to have what we're talking about, like chicken or broccoli or eggs or beef, or bacon, right? But try to have some real food instead of a smoothie, because smoothies can get people, I can see people get stuck with smoothies. So stick with real food, and then make sure your sleep's in order and you're getting enough water. Those things are going to be really important. And if you're going to the gym, that's good. But I would also encourage you throughout the day, go for walks, little 2-minute walks, 3-minute walks down the street every 45 minutes. Those are going to be the small things that make the biggest difference for you right there. Okay. And please keep us posted. And I know you can do this. And Rosa says, I'm taking your collagen and probiotics. When I take the MCT powder, do you blend it with the collagen? Yes, I do. I take the frother and put collagen and MCT oil in there. I also like to put a little bit of grass-fed butter and some homemade almond milk. And I'll put that in there and whip it up, and it is wonderful. You'll notice that collagen doesn't have like a creaminess to it. The MCT gives that like beautiful creaminess that, to me, like makes it a complete coffee and makes it taste wonderful. So that's how I use it, but you can do it in tea the same way. And Lynn says, so there are so many things to take. How do we take them? Was once told I shouldn't take my other supplements with my collagen peptides. I have the krill, turmeric, prebiotics, a multi, and a fantastic OPC3 from Market America, which I've been taking for decades to show how should I take all of these. So, honestly, the collagen I take in the coffee or the tea, but when it comes to the krill, the turmeric, the probiotics, the multi, and the OPC3, if you can, it's fine to take those all at once. If you want to spread that out throughout the day, to be honest with you, I'm not too particular on schedules. I just get in whatever is easy for me, and I typically take everything in the morning. But some people that prefer to take it throughout the day, it's really, to me, it's not as important. It has maybe little to no difference, right? So the important thing is you just get it in when you feel best. Does this work with cassava? Yes, you can do that with cassava. You should be fine adding the collagen and MCT in there. Thank you, Don. And do you have representative in any of the European countries? So Marta, thank you for that. I think, as far as like getting our product to European countries, I believe your best bet is Amazon, but we're not currently shipping directly from our country. So maybe check if you can do Amazon, and also email our customer experience team if you have any more issues or questions. And Lynn says, think I'm developing a lactose. Think I'm developing, oh, you must mean lactose intolerance. Never did before, so eating less dairy, but plant-based ones. Love my dairy. What do you do? Also love fruit. What to do? So that's good. You're eating less dairy. And I can talk more about this, but milk in general can be a real gray area for a lot of people. Some people tolerate it well, but a lot of people don't, and they think they do, but you don't really know unless you take it out for 30 days and then bring it back in. Me personally, I don't have any milk. I don't have any cheese because of what it can do to my gut. It just doesn't react too well. But I do grass-fed butter because that doesn't have the proteins in it that are so harmful to most people's bodies. So I would suggest taking out dairy, and I would suggest that for especially milk for really everybody on the call. If you want to lose weight, it's important to know that milk in and of itself is very insulinogenic. It spikes insulin in a major way, and that insulin is going to lead to storing more fat. So I would say cut out all dairy besides grass-fed butter. When it comes to plant-based proteins, I think that's what you're saying here, plant-based dairy. I think that's fine. Yeah, I think I answered that question. Also love fruit, what to do. Lynn, if you love fruit, I would make sure that that's okay. But I would say if you're wanting to lose weight, I would still steer you more towards protein and fat. And if you're going to have some fruit, keep it around the berries that are less sugary. So berries are better than the sugary fruits like mangoes and papayas. Papayas aren't too sugary, are they? But the real fruity ones. So berries have much less fruit, going to be a lot better for you if your goal is to lose weight, but get more protein in. Anonymous says, I've been a medical medium follower for a long time, and I'm torn between your info and his as it contradicts big time. And any opinion on this? And also the 60-day guarantee needs to be more clear, as I've been told that it's not really a try product for 60 days, as you can only return the bottle once. So regarding the medical medium, there's one of the things I talked about in the beginning was misinformation. There's a lot of misinformation out there in terms of what's going to help people. With a medical medium, a lot of what's being recommended there is going from wherever you're at to like kind of all fruit, and that can be helpful, I would say, for some people for a very short period of time. And the help usually comes because of the context of what someone's coming from. So a lot of people who find success in the medical medium, in my experience, are people who were coming from a really poor standard American diet, right? And they were eating, foods that are processed and refined, and all of a sudden they go towards whole food, and it's all fruit, but it's all whole food, and they start to see a major benefit in that. And I also promote whole food, and where I think the long-term situations happen with something like the medical medium is the body starts starving for protein and fat, which are, especially protein, it's an essential macronutrient. So it's what makes up the tendons, the ligaments, the muscles, and it's really important for longevity. And after a while, when people stay on the medical medium kind of model for a long time, I notice that they tend to have issues with those things long term, right? So for long term, it's not something I typically suggest, and it's not the way that humans have been eating for a long time. You know, it's kind of it's goes back to our principles here of eating in line with your biology, what your biology expects of you. So in studying indigenous tribes, no indigenous tribes were vegetarian. None of them were vegan. They all had some form of animal-based protein. So I think it's just whatever you do, it's really important to keep that stuff in there and really get in good fats, and some fruit every now and then is fine. And some people will tolerate more than others, but I don't believe in completely abandoning quality proteins. I think it's essential. It's the most important thing, and everything should be built around it. So hope that helps. And as far as any 60-day guarantees, we try to make it as clear as we can. If you have any questions, please email our customer experience team. And Lynn says, I love trying the different drinks and mixes all the flavors of collagen. It's fun and delicious. Try it in different things. I only use almond milk. I use almond milk only. Wonderful. And I love that. How about yogurt? I think the thing with yogurt, you just got to look on the back of it and look and see how much sugar they're putting in there. And if you're seeing like this yogurt contains 32 grams of sugar for 2 tablespoons of yogurt, you've got a sugar bomb, right? So I would say really look at that, and you want the minimal side of sugar, good quality ingredients, things that aren't artificial that you can pronounce. So in general, I would suggest try to stay away from the yogurt unless it's super duper high quality. But even for a little while, it's just taking it out. Is it a good probiotic? Heck yes, it's a good probiotic. It's one of the best probiotics we think we can get. It's got 10 different strains, and strains that are really specific to helping you boost your metabolism and really get your gut microbiome healthy for its immune system. Is oat milk okay? Don, that's one that I would suggest people take that out. I would suggest almond milk or macadamia nut or cashew milk over oat milk. Oat milk can be a little problematic for some people. Also, if you're purchasing something from the store, again, just look on the back of it and make sure it doesn't have any sugar. One thing my wife and I do is we make our own almond milk and cashew milk at home with something called Almond Cow is what it's called. And it's a really great device that you can do some fun stuff at home. So I suggest that if you can get that. And Mo says, eggs, feed, EBV is one of the main things. Thanks for answering. He says eggs, feed. So I'm not sure what EBV is, but I do suggest, I think eggs are great, a super awesome source of protein, very healthy, and acetylcholine, the yolks especially are very good. So yeah, eggs are great for you. How about blood type diet? Marta, I don't really get into all that. So I don't really get into all that blood type diet. It's I just really steer people towards eating whole real food and protein and good quality fats. So non-dairy, even plant-based Greek style yogurts. Yeah, if someone is trying to lose weight, Lynn, I would say that your calories are better spent somewhere else. Your calories that you're eating are better spent with good quality proteins, vegetables, and a little bit of berries. That's my take on it, and people typically get the best results from that. And Blanca says, is it best to make our own almond nuts? I buy the cartons and was considering, it is better. Yeah, if you can, and in the long run, it's a lot cheaper if you do it that way. If you can make your own nut milks, it's going to be better because they do put a lot of preservatives in there and some of those boxed almond milks. Yeah, Epstein-Barr virus, medical medium says eggs feed the virus. Yeah, it's different opinions. I that's not something I agree with. I think eggs are fine. Let's see. Okay, wonderful questions. Thank you, everyone. James says, I am underweight, so can I use yogurt and fruits? Yeah, you can use yogurt and fruits, but James, what I would really suggest is you eat about 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So whatever that is for you, but I would say hit that marker first. Again, the yogurts and things like that, those are if you're going to put your calories and your money into something, those are not the main things you want to do, whether you want to lose weight or gain weight. Let's see. And Robin says, I have a lot of your products already. Is there a discount if I want to bundle the starter set? I just want the prebiotics. So Robin, I would say email the customer experience team at cs@nativepath.com, and they can do something for you. And all your questions and any suggestions, feedback you always have are always welcome. And thank you guys. Thank you, Shamiran. Thank you, Marion. Thank you, Rachel. All right, well, I think we're getting close here. Okay, well, everybody, we got another raised hand. Let's see the Q&A. What about plant-based meats? Lynn, I would not suggest plant-based meats. No, I am suggesting free-range, animal-based proteins. It's going to be the most dense, nutritious source of protein that you can get. Plant-based meats are not meats. They're going to be grown with soy and not healthy and not give you the best results. And also, there's a lot of ethical things around the production of that I don't agree with. And Rosa says, I drink milk, almond milk. Is that all right? Milk. Oh, I think you mean milk. Yes, that can be. I think milk is good. I'm assuming you mean that. It does go bad pretty quickly. So you might be someone who, if you're spending a lot of money on the milk, you may actually might like that almond cow thing, where you can just buy organic almonds and put them in that way. So, all right, everybody. Thank you, everyone. Remember, if you have any questions, you can email at support@nativepath.com. Thank you all so much for attending. Again, you'll get an email with a recording to this webinar, and it'll also have a link to the bundle if you need more time or want to get something later. And thank you all for your questions. Really enjoyed it. And hope you all have a wonderful Christmas if I don't see you. And talk to you all very soon. Okay, thank you so much. Bye-bye.